wanna be down with the king.
It's the Sports Kings. Sports Kings.
He might fall off the wagon in the next 10 minutes.
It's about bringing talent. It's not about all the flash and glitz and glam.
Not your average sports talk show. The Sports Kings.
This is NFL legend, Work Done.
This your boy D. Howard, a.k.a. Superman.
I'm Jerome Bettis, the Bus.
It's Cam Newton. Holla at your boy already.
This is Hank Aaron, and I'm down with the King.
Tell a friend, Kings is back.
Welcome into a Friday on Sports Kings Live with Big Mike, Rob Calloway. The last show of the week, last 2 hours of the week, ladies and gentlemen, we're being heard via Spreaker.com, also the Spreaker app for your Android, your Windows, or your Apple device. You guys can also reach out to us on social media, Sports Kings Live, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. The handle is all three the same. We're also on email, sportskingslive@gmail.com. Now, yesterday had Game 4 of the NBA Finals, in which, as we like to put it around here, the Cavs kind of got it pushed in last night, 21 points.
Yeah, they did.
They did. It's a crazy little look. And to get you guys all caught up and give us an inside kind of look at how things are going in the city of Cleveland, our guy, Branson Wright of the Cleveland Plain Dealer, used to be on the Cavs beat, but now on the Cleveland Browns beat, but you know, he's an Ohio guy, so he'll be able to serve our purposes just well. Branson, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Good, man. Good. By the way, he's at Branson Wright, BRANSONWRIGHT on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you guys follow him as we do. All right, let's get this thing started. We're just going to have a conversation about basketball right now, Branson. We're going to get into some other stuff about Johnny football and all this kind of craziness that's going on up there as well. But first and foremost, what I want to find out from you is give me a sense of the vibe. We now have a best-of-3 series. Things look to be on the upswing for the Cavaliers. LeBron was doing that LeBron thing that he does. And then the mere mortal showed up yesterday. not LeBron, but the other mere mortal showed up yesterday. What's the vibe today?
Well, I think the mortal and LeBron also showed up from this standpoint, which I think is affecting a lot of guys on the team. They're getting tired. It's a 7-man rotation. They're playing a Golden State Warriors team that likes to run. And why the Cavs are trying to run with them, I don't know, because all of their success was in this type of slow motion type of game that they were doing, and LeBron getting into the post with not much effort. And they just got away from it last night. And the night before, Dellavedova was in the hospital getting IVs because of cramps. So, and then if you saw during the game where LeBron and Dellavedova were on the sidelines and they were, at the cold wraps and, making sure they had plenty of fluid in them, with this 7-man rotation, they're starting to wear down. And unfortunately, for some reason, Coach Blatt hasn't went deeper into his bench. I know Perkins is not what he used to be. I know Sean Marion is not what he used to be. But I think at this point of the season that you have to use whatever you can, especially some veteran guys. So what they ran into last night is being tired. They're going to get a couple days rest, but they still had that long West Coast flight to get back out there to Oakland. And I guarantee the Warriors are going to try to keep that momentum as far as that rhythm of running. They're going to try to impose their will, if you will, on the Cavs on Sunday.
Now, you talked about the lineup or whatnot, and actually the depth of Golden State versus Cleveland. Now, what kind of adjustment, if any, can be made? I mean, we saw Andre Iguodala inserted by Steve Kerr last night, made a major impact in last night's game. But moving forward, I'm not sure if that's what we should expect to see Sunday, but if in fact that is what they're going with, is the answer going to be to actually insert J.R. Smith and pull out one of your bigs? What are your thoughts on that?
No, I find them. I'm staying big. They had success. Moskoff had 28 points. Their bigs haven't had much of a problem. The thing is that in those games, those first 3 games, and they could have won the first game, is that it was the pace. They were able to have a slow-down game, a typical postseason half-court type basketball. They were able to impose that. They have to do it again. They can bring in all the little guys they want, talking about Golden State. But you all saw LeBron when he brought the ball up the court. It was like he was, back in the day. I don't know how old you guys were, but when I went to parties, we couldn't wait to do the slow dance. They don't slow dance at parties anymore.
Hell no, everything's so ratchet now. Now they don't.
Right. Yeah, you don't even need to now. but LeBron brought the slow dance back. He's coming up court, taking his time. He's dribbling, getting into the paint. The Warriors are not doing much about it, and getting his points, getting his rebounds. That's all they need to do. That's why they were successful. So until the Warriors can stop that, then that's what you need to do. The mistake they made yesterday was they tried to run with them. Why they tried to do that, I don't know. But that's the mistake they made.
We're talking to Branson Wright of the Cleveland Plain Dealer. He actually covers the Cleveland Browns, but he is a guy who has before covered the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I'm sure he still has his pulse on not only the team but the city as well. You guys can follow him on Instagram and Twitter at Branson Wright, BransonWright, as we do. I've got a theory on why they started running with him. I saw a good portion of the game where LeBron was no longer the primary ball handler. Your guy, Mr. Australia himself, Matthew Dellavedova, who could not control the urge to be Delly. Like, he's changed from Matthew Dellavedova to now I have this alter ego of Delly, so I'm going to post up the MVP. I'm going to take lean-in three-pointers now. Yeah, when that stuff happens, yeah, game over. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. We talk about every year in the playoffs, we always compare it to a chess match. Move, counter move, move, counter move. And I've read all the stuff today about David Blatt tinkering with the lineup. Here's the thing: Steve Kerr looked down his bench and said, "You know what? I had a former All-Star down there. Andre, get in the starting lineup." Now David Blatt's going to do the same thing, but his All-Star is 37 with bad knees and a bad hip, named Sean Marion. I don't think it's going to have the same impact. So to piggyback. To not necessarily piggyback Rob's question, but to kind of intimate something, it's almost like Steve Kerr has figured out the lock. He's picked the lock now, and everything and anything that LeBron might be able to do, I don't think it'll have any effect. What are your thoughts?
Well, it may not have any effect in terms of the Cavs winning, getting the end result, but what else are they going to do? I mean, you have the best player in the world. You have these all-stars that are out, because of injury, and you have a bunch of role players, filling in and have basically played out of their minds. You have to ride LeBron all the way to the end. I mean, there's nothing else for you to do.
My God.
As I said, the amount of success you had was LeBron in the paint and slowing the game down. So that's exactly what he has to do. What else can he do?
Let me follow up with something real quick. The last time I talked to you was about a year ago. And I don't know if you remember this.
And that's a shame, too.
Yeah, you're right. Well, some things have happened in the meantime, by the way.
We've been out of commission.
Oh, yeah. Some things have happened. Yeah, we've had a little roller coaster ride with this thing. But I can't find myself remembering. I remember we talked about the Andrew Wiggins, Kevin Love thing before it happened. And I know we had a conversation about what the team would look like with either guy, but I don't remember what side you were on. I keep telling people that I think you were the guy who said you'd rather keep Andrew Wiggins. Is that correct?
You're right.
Yeah,
that's correct.
I figured you were.
Correct.
Yeah. And now we look at it and we see how this team has kind of morphed into something way, way different than it was the last time I speak to you. I see Andrew Wiggins fitting so much better, a young, athletic defender, and a guy who can get points in transition.
Can you imagine if he was on this team right now? What he would have learned during the regular season, with LeBron. LeBron pushing him to become an even better defender. I mean, he's a good defender now as a rookie, but playing with LeBron, his game would have just elevated. They would have been just a long, tough, athletic team,
right,
if they would have kept him. But unfortunately, I'm not the GM as much as I talked about it on my radio show and blogged about it. You know, they didn't listen to me, and I don't know if it's a thing that they'll end up regretting. But if they never win it, and just because the Cavs are in the, as I tell a lot of the Cavs fans, just because they're in the finals now, it's not automatic that they're going to get back next year, no matter who gets healthy. Because it's, as you know, getting to the finals, there is some luck involved also.
Yeah.
So, you know, this could be it. You know, this could be, you know, LeBron's final run if things stay how it is. So, you know, so for them or people to assume that getting Kevin Love was going to be everything. I mean, right now we're saying that, I don't know, you know, maybe you should have kept this young guy. You would have had some good veterans on the team, and then you would at least had a dynamic future with a Kyrie Irving and a Wiggins.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Now, you talked about LeBron being able to elevate the game of Wiggins had he stayed on board with the Cavs. But looking at this team, and as depleted as they are, what are your thoughts on LeBron's leadership and his ability to, you know, I mean, get them to this point? I mean, going into last night, they were up 2-1. I mean, had his last-minute bucket gone in, last-second bucket gone in Game 1, they could be up 3-0. But what are your thoughts on his leadership and you know, I guess his progression as a leader and what he's doing with Cleveland this year and right now in the finals?
I'm amazed, and again, it makes me feel old because of, you know, I saw when I got to Cleveland 15 years ago, and he was in high school. You heard about this great high school kid and this great player, and you hear that all the time about, you know, some high school kid's supposed to be the guy, but in this case, it ended up being that, and to see him get drafted and just his whole maturation as a player and as a person, and I also say that going to Miami was like LeBron going to college. You know, he's there with some other stars. You know, he's there with the great Pat Riley. You know, learning about winning and what it takes and the sacrifices and the leadership. Mm-hmm. And he comes back to Cleveland, and what he had learned in Miami, he brought to Cleveland. And if you look at him at the podium, I mean, if you go back and look at 2007 post games and look at when the Cavs were last in the finals, and look at LeBron now, I mean, of course he looks older, but just his maturity, you know, his words and what he talks about as far as the team, and admitting his mistakes, admitting when he's at fault, when sometimes things don't go right. I mean, it just really shows how this guy has grown over the years, and that's just a testament to what he learned in Miami, and he was able to grow from it.
I'm glad you mentioned LeBron leaving, because there's something that I should have actually addressed this at the beginning. This lie that's being told, and I consider it a lie. Like, every time I hear someone from Cleveland, the dude that burned the jersey, Mike Tirico talking about the cab drivers on the way to the game. Yeah, we weren't mad that he left. We were just mad how he left. Yeah, I'm calling BS, right. Branson. I'm calling BS.
You mad. Dude, they were hot.
Exactly.
He left. They were mad. I mean, if LeBron would have said, you know, I really love Cleveland. I really love you guys, you know, but it's time for me to leave, and I'm giving Dan Gilbert enough notice, so if he wants to make a deal or do whatever, they still would have been pissed off. You know, it may not have been the as much anger as it was on how he left, but they would have still have been pissed off the fact that he was leaving Cleveland. And you have free agents leaving Cleveland all the time, and people getting pissed off. And, you know, no matter how these guys have left. So it's a typical fan thing, you know, especially when a superstar is leaving an organization. some fans are just going to be just pissed off. Why